Minasan konnichiwa, this is Tina and welcome back to my channel. This video is my Japanese sunscreen master list, a collection of my tried and tested J-SPFs. If that sounds like your thing, then please go ahead and channel登録しちゃってください。It seems like this year is the year for sunscreens. Across the globe, I am seeing so many new sunscreen launches in Japan, in Korea, by Western brands. Literally everyone is releasing a sunscreen, which is awesome. And I definitely will be trying out some new SPFs in the coming months, but I thought it might be a good idea to put together kind of a master list of all the most popular Japanese sunscreens that I have tried and tested, so you guys have a reference point, or even if you are starting your Japanese SPF journey, this is going to be an amazing video for you to watch, because let me tell you, Japanese sunscreens are they're really something. Starting off with one of my favorite brands from when I was literally in high school, like over 10 years ago, Biore UV. First, we have an absolute classic, the Biore UV Aqua Rich Watery Essence. Let's be honest, I am pretty sure most of us already know this beaut. It is SPF 50+, PA+++++, with 4 chemical filters, making it a chemical sunscreen. This one is a super light jelly gel texture, and to be honest, that is the main reason why I continue to come back to this one. I have absolutely no idea how many times I have repurchased the Aqua Rich Essence. Whenever I went back to Japan, which I used to travel like once or twice a year when I was able to, I would always buy at least a couple of tubes of this one because I just knew I couldn't go wrong. The texture is just unmatched, even compared to so many light gel, white cast free sunscreens, and even with a lot of product, it does not feel heavy on the skin. There is absolutely no white cast and has a subtle glowy finish once applied. I would say it can be ever so slightly tacky after you have applied it, but after a while it does settle nicely on the skin. If you are curious about the scent, it is a slight floral scent. Since it has such a nice light texture, I do recommend it for oily and combo skin types. Next, we have the Biore UV Aqua Rich Watery Gel. This one has SPF 50+ with PA++++ with 4 chemical and 1 physical filter. Although I feel like the physical filter in this instant is actually for the tone up or brightening up properties. I noticed that in all of Biore's sunscreens, any of them that don't have that tone up effect included don't include titanium dioxide, whereas every single one that has that tone up effect, it includes titanium dioxide, which they do use that ingredient to give that brightening, evening out tone up effect. So I technically would say that this is also a chemical sunscreen, since the physical filter is used for that tone up effect, if that makes sense. This is technically the gel version of the Essence, although talking in kind of English terms, I feel like the Essence actually has more of a gel texture compared to the gel, because the gel actually has more of a fluidy texture. It is a fair bit more opaque than the Essence, as you can see, and it does have those tone up properties in them, although it is probably one of the most subtle forms of it that I have experienced. You can see the little specks of white in the formula when you are applying it, which gives that brightening, toning up effect. Although I personally prefer the Essence version, a lot of you guys did comment that you liked the gel version, since it does give your skin a more flawless and smooth finish. Again, it can be slightly tacky when you first apply it, but dries down to a nice satin finish. Honestly, I feel like this one is great for people with all skin types. Next, I have the Biore UV Aqua Rich Light Up Essence. This one is also SPF 50+, PA++++, with 3 chemical and 1 physical filter, the physical being titanium dioxide again, so possibly for tone up properties. A tone up or light up, I guess, type of SPF, and one of the few that I genuinely like. I love wearing it on days where I don't want to wear any makeup, but I still want my skin to look alive and even and brightened, and I feel like it is perfect for that occasion. Although I will say it can be a little bit hard to apply the appropriate amount or 2 fingers worth with this one, since layers, you do have to be slightly wary of how you're applying it and blending it because of the tone up properties. And to be honest, I thought it was like pretty white cast free. I was like, yeah, I don't like look white cast, but looking at the footage of after I applied it, I feel like there is definitely a cast. I don't know if it's like white cast, but the tone up properties seem to not be like fully blending with my skin. But I promise you, after a couple hours and it settles in, my skin always looks so nice. The finish is beautiful. My skin looks really smooth and has a really nice subtle glow to it as well. I do also love the packaging. It's just like a pop-off lid that stays on it, which is way easier than the twist top type. And the texture, I would say, is kind of in between the gel and essence. I do find that it sometimes can peel underneath makeup. So as I said, this is kind of my go-to for no makeup days when I want my skin to look great. Next, I have the Biore UV Athlizm Skin Protect Essence. This one is SPF 50+ with PA++++ and has 4 chemical filters, making it a chemical sunscreen. So the red Athlizm range is supposed to be the highest protection out of all the lines in Biore UV. They have been tested in very high temperatures and high humidity to last well, and it is also sweat-proof and waterproof. This one does have a slightly thicker and more opaque texture, I feel like, compared to the Aqua range. Although even with high protection, there is absolutely no white cast. It does feel quite moisturizing, so I would probably recommend it for people with normal to dry skin. Initially, I really liked it, but after a generous application, it can sometimes feel a little bit heavy. So I prefer it for winter time, although it is supposed to be kind of like high protection outdoors summertime. So I don't know, I feel like it doesn't quite line up. But they do also have a milk and spray version in this line, which I feel like would be perfect for summertime. I don't quite know how to describe the smell, but it smells like Japan. Next is the Nivea Sun Super Water Gel. This one is SPF 50+, PA++++ with 3 chemical filters, making it a chemical sunscreen. Another OG for me. I have literally repurchased this 1,000 times over, and it was my go-to everyday sunscreen when I was living in Japan. It is an incredibly lightweight gel texture that basically like disappears upon application. It is so light, it is so fresh, and that's why it is wonderful to use as your everyday sunscreen. I do feel like as long as you prep your skin, it can also work for all skin types. This one and the Aqua Essence is very comparable, although if I had to choose just one, it would be the Nivea. I feel like you can reapply this as many times as you want and it will never feel heavy on your skin. The downfall is that it is not waterproof, hence why it is so lightweight. So if you do spend a lot of time outside, or if you sweat a lot, or if you do live in humid climates, it's probably not the one for you. But for someone like me who doesn't really kind of live in hot weather or anything, and I don't sweat, it's kind of just my everyday like quick go-to apply, it works perfectly. And it also comes in a huge pump bottle, which is, it's just, I don't know, I just have no complaints. It's also good to know that 1 pump of this one is 1 finger worth. So 2 pumps equals the amount that you should be applying. That's exactly how much I was applying, which is good to know, I guess. I usually do 1 pump, apply it all over, and then a second pump, apply it a second layer. So it's really easy, handy to use, and a great value for money because this thing is 140 grams. It also does come in a smaller version too. It does also have a natural finish that is not too glowy or not too matte. Next, I have the Suncut UV Perfect Gel Super Waterproof. This one has SPF 50+ with PA++++ and 4 chemical filters, making it a chemical sunscreen. This one does claim to be super waterproof, as it is literally in the name of the product, but is still a really nice lightweight texture. It is a gel again and is semi-transparent, kind of similar to the Nivea Sun, but ever so slightly thicker. It is very easy to blend out and apply a generous amount without any white cast, although it can feel a little bit sticky after application. This one does take a little bit more time to dry down. I would say after about 10 minutes or so, the tackiness does go away. Although it is no problem to wear makeup straight away, it actually works as a really nice hydrating priming base as well. It again has a natural finish, not too glowy, not too matte, and comes in a very generous size. This is 100 grams, which is big for a sunscreen. I feel like sunscreens start at about 30, usually around 50, but this is 100, and it is still a very affordable brand. So Definitely recommend if you want something you can kind of just slap all over. I now have the Anessa Perfect UV Sunscreen Skincare Milk. This one is SPF 50+, PA++++, and has a whopping 8 filters included. It has 6 chemical and 2 physical filters, making it a hybrid sunscreen. This Anessa Milk, or they call it Anessa Gold in Japan oftentimes, but it is known to be the ultimate protection and has been a cult favorite for literally the longest time. Like, I remember from even when I was in high school, this one was huge. I couldn't afford it because it is a little bit on the pricey side. It's 3,000 yen in Japan, which for a high schooler, that is hella expensive. It is that one that a lot of people go to when they really want that full protection. It is a milk fluid type texture that you would shake before application, and it does apply and spread very easily as well. I'm pretty sure it's infused with some type of like powder ingredient, making it really silky smooth on the skin. Like, literally my fingers glide on my skin, and I feel like it works great as a makeup primer as well. This one does also dry down very quickly, so there's not much of a difference straight after application versus a few minutes after. So if you are someone who is always rushing out the door and can't be bothered for your sunscreen to kind of dry down or settle, you would definitely enjoy this one. It is pretty much a matte finish, no stickiness or tackiness at all, so oily skin would love it too. As I said, it is a little bit on the pricier side. It is 3,000 yen in Japan, so I generally opt to use it like mid-summer when the sun is shining and at its strongest. Plus, for my dry and dehydrated skin, I feel like it is a little too drying for me in the winter anyways. Next, I have the Canmake Mermaid Skin Gel UV. I do have the clear colored version today. It has SPF 50+, PA++++, and has 5 filters, 3 chemical and 2 physical, making it a hybrid sunscreen. This one is alcohol and fragrance free, you guys. I know you were waiting for it. Again, a light gel texture, but I would say this one's a little bit more cushiony. Like, it has a bit more of that kind of like thickness to it, but does melt away into your skin when blending. This one doesn't have a white cast either, but I feel like it gives a very kind of subtle sheen to my skin. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but I swear I feel like my skin just looks slightly brighter and slightly like glowier when I see a before and after application. So I love that about it as well. My skin always looks really, really plump after it has that subtle glow, and I feel like normal and drier skin types would absolutely love it. This is one I often recommend to people who are after a alcohol and fragrance free Japanese SPFs. Obviously there are not that many out there, or at least the major big popular brands, not too many are fragrance and alcohol free. I posted on my Instagram recently, where is it? Oh no. The Verdio, this was another one I recommended that was alcohol and fragrance free, but they discontinued it. This one is usually the other one I would recommend. I'm not highlighting it in this video because it is discontinued, but I guess I just talked about it. So if you find it, highly recommend. But yeah, this one is alcohol and fragrance free, and it is also very affordable. In Japan, it retails for 770 yen. Dirt cheap. On your Style and Stylevana, it's usually around $12 to $13, although it is 40 grams, which leans to kind of the smaller side of sunscreens. Now I am moving on to the brand Skin Aqua, which I didn't realize quite how many sunscreens I had by them, but first starting off with the Skin Aqua UV Super Moisture Essence. This one is SPF 50+ with PA++++, 3 chemical filters, making it a chemical sunscreen. To be honest, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Obviously Japanese people like a certain type of sunscreen, and so do I, but again, it is a light gel texture. You do get a little bit of a whiff of alcohol with this one, I feel like, even compared to the other brands, but it does dissipate very quickly. I did also find this one does dry down very quickly, so if you are layering it or applying a lot, make sure you work kind of quick, because once it dries, it can be a little bit harder to kind of layer it. I feel like the finish is kind of semi-glowy, natural satin finish, and I would say it would work well for most skin types. Followed by the Skin Aqua UV Super Moisture Gel. This one is also SPF 50+, PA++++, has 4 chemical filters, making it a chemical sunscreen. So obviously these ones are very similar. This is the essence and then this is the gel, pretty much the same as the Biore. A lot of sunscreens in Japan come up with a essence and gel version. The difference is that essences usually are a bit more moisturizing and have kind of more skin skincare benefits compared to a gel being very lightweight. So if you're ever kind of in a rut and unsure, if you have normal to drier skin, maybe go for the essence, and if you have oily skin, go for the gel since it is a lightweight texture. This one has a very light gel texture. Once again, it is pretty much transparent like the Nivea gel. Like, look, I barely touched it and it is gone already, and it is definitely more transparent and light and fresh feeling compared to the essence. This one, you also do get that whiff of alcohol. It might be a little bit stronger even than the essence. Personally, alcohol in my products or sunscreen has never bothered me, but if you are not a fan, I would probably avoid it since you can smell it a little bit in the product, but it does allow for that incredibly light gel texture. Of course, you can use it on your face, but I feel like this one is a great one for the body since it is 110 grams, and this one isn't even the bigger one. There is a bigger 140 pump bottle, so it is very cost effective since they're usually around 1,000 yen or so in Japan. So if you want something that you can liberally apply on your body that is cost effective and still feels really lightweight, this one is amazing. I feel like oily combo skin would probably love it best since it does dry down to a nice natural satin finish. Next is the Skin Aqua UV Super Moisture Milk. This one is SPF 50+, PA+++++, has 2 chemical and 2 physical filters, making it a hybrid sunscreen. So far, all these Skin Aquas have been fragrance free, which I guess is nice for some people. This one is a milk fluid type one that you do. I would say it might be slightly runnier than the Anessa. As you can see, it kind of running down my hand. But again, it does just glide across the skin and it is so easy to blend out. Straight after application, it does have a little bit of slip. It doesn't quite dry down as quick as the Anessa, although once dried down, it does have kind of a semi-matte finish and also has that skin blurring effect where it kind of smooths out your skin. So it works really well as a primer too. Again, another one that would work really well for oily combo skin. It is also waterproof and sweatproof. This one's more of a all-season milk sunscreen for my drier skin compared to the Anessa, which I would go for during summertime. Followed by the Skin Aqua Tone Up UV Essence. This one is SPF 50+ with PA 4+ and has 3 chemical filters, making it a chemical sunscreen. Again, it does have 1 physical filter being titanium dioxide, but I do believe it is for the toning up effect since it is a tone up sunscreen. This one does contain alcohol and fragrance. So out of the Skin Aqua, this is the only one that does contain fragrance. I honestly don't even know what it smells like. It's probably floral. That's all I can say. But this one is again super popular tone up sunscreen in Japan. This one has a lavender tint to it, which helps to brighten skin tone and add translucence to your skin, is how they describe it in Japan. It does also come in 3 other shades now, I believe, that counteracts different things like green for redness. I know they have like I think it's like a latte beige one for people who have slightly darker skin tone and etc. So many people seem to love this one, but unfortunately it never really worked well for me. I will say it applies really well. It also gives my skin this smoothed out, brightened, translucent, beautiful look, and I love the way it looks when I first apply it. But no matter what skincare combination, whether I wear makeup or not, it always ended up pilling on my skin, hence why it did not work for me. After reading more reviews and even you guys' comments, it seems like this one works best for oily combo skin types. It is a characteristic of tone up creams to kind of latch onto dry patches or pill on dry skin, so I guess it just doesn't work for my skin type. Although it didn't work well for me, there is a reason why so many people love it, and it's constantly in the popular kind of rankings in Japan. So if it sounds like your thing, please go for it. It might be the best thing you ever did. Who knows? And we are finally on the last one, you guys. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Mentholatum Sunplay Clear Water. It is SPF 50+ with PA 4+. This one has 3 chemical and 2 physical, making it a hybrid sunscreen. This one contains alcohol, although it is fragrance free. If you have never heard of mentholatum, they make a lot of medicinal products in Japan, and they are also the makers of like my favorite lip balm, the Melty Cream Lip. Oh, and the lip fondue. Like literally all of these lip balms that I have on my desk are by Mentholatum. Kind of like an old school brand that have been around for a really, really long time. But this one is another fluid milk type SPF. Another one that spreads easily and is very, very blendable. It dries to a satin finish. I would say it is quite similar to the Skin Aqua. Again, it is fairly moisturizing for a milk type SPF. And I don't know if you noticed actually, but it does have a blue tint to it, a very subtle blue color. Again, the blue is for color correcting, toning up properties. But again, this one is very subtle, doesn't leave any kind of white casty look, but you can see that it does have that kind of tone up, brightening up kind of feel on my skin. Look. I have talked way too long. This one I feel like doesn't have quite that blurring effect initially, but I noticed when I wore it the other day, like after a couple hours, my skin just looked like smooth and just like, I don't know, it looked really good. And I feel like not enough people talk about this one. I mean, it's pretty like, I don't know, it's not that exciting looking maybe. I mean, it's cute, but I remember it was selling everywhere when I was living in Japan. And when you found it cheap, you could buy it for literally like 400 yen, like so cheap that I felt like I just had to get it. I'm like 400 yen for a sunscreen that actually is decent. Like that's just ridiculous. Works really well with the reapplication for a tone up sunscreen. So if you're after something that does have those tone up effects but is quite subtle, especially if you have darker toned skin, I feel like this one would work really well. And yeah, is that it? I think that's it. I don't even know if that... What happened? Well, since one of my lights turned off, I guess that is the end of my video. Sorry if I missed any that you were curious about, but it is literally impossible to include all Japanese sunscreens in one video. As I said, I will be trying out quite a few new launches, which is really exciting. So keep an eye out for new content. And if you want to stay up to date on a more kind of day-to-day basis, make sure you go follow me on Instagram since I do update there more often. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out another one of my videos that I have selected for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Mwah.